Good evening. Administrators today published final proposals for changes to services at Cannock Chase and Stafford hospitals. They believe their proposals will guarantee the clinical and financial success of the hospitals for 4 years. But as Callum Watkinson reports, campaigners are still far from happy with what's on the table.
Care for pregnant women, sick children and the critically ill. The people of Stafford have always demanded these things stay available at their hospital. The administrators running it have always said they'll have to go. They said it when they took over in April. They said it in a draft report in July. Today, after a summer of public consultation, they said they've changed their minds.
We've amended our recommendations in the following 3 ways. Firstly, we recommend a midwife-led unit be established at Stafford Hospital. We have clarified the arrangements for critical care to allow for patients to remain at Stafford. We confirm that the paediatric assessment unit, which exists at Stafford, will be run in conjunction with the A&E department, the Accident and Emergency Department.
But that's still only open during the day. Sick children who need to stay over will have to go elsewhere. The campaigners here today were unimpressed with these apparent concessions to people power.
You're going to keep maternity services, you're going to keep paediatrics, you're going to keep some level of intensive care. You must be very happy.
No, not at all. I think we'll maybe rewrite that. We're going to have maternity, midwife-led maternity. We want obstetric-led maternity. Level 3 critical care, I still see critically ill patients being transferred in ambulances. I see that as dangerous. I see our road network around here, in quite a rural area as well, being insufficient. Paediatrics, to have an area in A&E with no paediatricians but A&E doctors trained up in paediatrics and nurses, and although they'll be highly qualified, it's not the same as have a paediatric-led unit here. And there'll be no overnight. It's going to be 14 hours a day, this assessment unit.
Health watchdog monitor and Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt still have to approve these proposals. A final decision is expected at the end of February. Callum Watkinson, ITV News, Stafford.
A man has been seriously injured after a tree fell on a car during high winds in Warwickshire. West Midlands Ambulance Service were called to the A45 between Stretton-on-Dunsmore and Rugby at around 6 o'clock. A 19-year-old man was taken to hospital with face and head injuries. A man who shot dead an innocent pub drinker in Birmingham in what police called a brutal execution has been jailed for a minimum of 31 years. Paul Davies killed 33-year-old Marlon O'Reilly while he was out drinking on a Friday night. Mark Goff reports.
Marlon O'Reilly died in May this year, a man in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was celebrating his birthday at the Dovecot pub in Sheldon in Birmingham. Paul Davies walked into the pub and, from behind, shot Mr. O'Reilly 5 times. He thought he was someone else. Davies had been out for revenge after he'd been attacked earlier at a gym. After the shooting, he fled to Thailand, but when he returned, police were at the airport to arrest him. Today, he was jailed for life with a minimum of 31 years.
Marlon O'Reilly was drinking peacefully in the Dovecot pub the day before his birthday when Paul Davies walked in armed with a handgun and cold-heartedly shot him 5 times. It was an execution. Paul Davies clearly got the wrong man, but to do that in a crowded pub is really abhorrent.
Today, Marlon O'Reilly's family issued a statement saying, "We're thankful that justice has finally been served. We can now begin to grieve for the person we loved so dearly. We hope this conviction helps people to see that no one is above the law, and when people act in such a way, justice will be served." Soon after the attack, Mr. Marlon's cousin spoke of the loss of her relative.
Marlon will be sorely missed. The chasm left in our hearts is immeasurable, as this person who meant so much to us and brought so much fun, laughter and happiness has been taken away in such a brutal fashion.
A brutality which destroyed a young man's life. Mark Goff, ITV News, Birmingham.
Police investigating the murder of a woman 22 years ago have been granted more time to question 2 people. Nicola Payne from Coventry disappeared on her way home after visiting her boyfriend. Yesterday, officers arrested 2 49-year-old men on suspicion of abduction and murder. A 51-year-old woman who was arrested on suspicion of perverting the course of justice has been released on bail. The extent of budget cuts by Birmingham City Council was raised in the House of Commons today. A further 1,000 jobs are to go as the authority looks to make savings of £120 million this year. Local MP Jack Dromey warned that some essential services are at risk and accused the government of penalising his city.
Why is it that Birmingham has been hit twice as hard as the national average, and that in Birmingham every citizen, high need, high unemployment Birmingham loses £149 of local government services, but in leafy, low need, low unemployment Wokingham, but £19?
Minister. I would suggest he has a look at the starting point to see the Woking get somewhat less spending power per dwelling than Birmingham in the first place.
In tonight's football, there was first half drama at the Britannia Stadium in Stoke's League Cup tie with Manchester United.
He's going to take the players away here because the hail is coming down.
Play had to be stopped for 10 minutes because of a hailstorm and gale force winds. Unfortunately for Stoke, conditions improved, but they couldn't defeat the Premier League champions, losing the game 2-0. And in last night's League Cup tie, there was excitement of another kind.
You can take everything I have.
Yes, X Factor winner and Leicester lass Sam Bailey gave a half-time performance at the King Power Stadium, entertaining the thousands of Leicester and Manchester City fans in the stands. Leicester lost 3-1. Time now for a look at the weather with Lucy.
It could be cool in Birmingham, but somewhere in the world, the sun is shining. ITV Central Weather, sponsored by Turkish Airlines.
Hello. Well, the weather is certainly keeping us on our toes this week as we head towards Christmas. Very wet and windy conditions, as I'm sure you've noticed. A deep area of low pressure is pushing a band of rain eastwards. The wind picking up all the time. We're seeing gusts of around 50 miles per hour. It will clear through, though, by tomorrow morning. Now, overnight tonight, we are expecting lows of around 1 degree Celsius. And then tomorrow morning, some sunny spells in eastern areas, but more showers forming further west and rain sweeping eastwards once again as we move into the afternoon. That could be wintry on higher grounds.
ITV Central Weather, sponsored by Turkish Airlines.
That's all we have time for tonight. Don't forget to check out our website for live updates at itv.com/central. That's all from us here, though. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening.